What up, though? Welcome to Woodward Heavyweights. I'm your boy Easy, joined by my man Spin More Racks.
What up, though?
We got a couple special guests in the building. We got my man Joaquin Buckley.
Yeah. New Mansa.
Yeah. UFC legend, best knockout all time, hands down.
Nice.
Detroit D.U.S.T.
Detroit D.U.S.T. Commander Brown.
Commander Brown.
Yes, sir.
Hill Brown. And we got the one, the only, Charles Johnson, making his UFC debut on July 23rd.
What's good, baby?
I don't know how to pronounce your opponent's name. I say it or not?
Muhammad Makayev.
Muhammad Makayev.
AKA bitch ass nigga.
Yeah. He's talking that mess. Actually, let's start with that. Give us your perspective, because obviously he was wild on Twitter last night. Posted a picture saying he's ready to see you with the AK-47.
Yeah. We man, we from St. Louis, man. So by the time I'm 18, I see friends, close friends, family, all type of things like that happen, and people that you love gone way too soon. So we don't play by guns, but he's just a young kid. So at the end of the day, when it's time to fight, we're going to be locked in the cage. No guns, no social media, no nothing else. You're going to have to see me, and you already seen me in Thailand, so you already know what it is.
And, yeah, that's what it's all about. We see, talking like that between fighters back and forth happen all the time, where sometimes somebody takes it too far, with whether it's Colby Covington talking about kids or family members or something like that just, pisses somebody off. How do you react to that? How do you keep a tempered head when somebody pushes that line a little bit too far?
Honestly, man, this is entertainment, man. I know what business I'm in. I don't mind entertaining. And at the end of the day, man, if you really look back and you watch like the GOATs, like Muhammad Ali, people talk about be humble. He was nothing humble about the way he was talking to the men back in the day. It was disrespect from the jump. But people respected him because he backed up his word. He worked hard, and he knew how to play the game, and he was the original GOAT of this talking shit. You grow up. Yeah, you grow up. But that was
my man Sonny Liston.
That was it.
He
That was
shot,
a
he
different.
shot over his head. He did.
Exactly.
It was crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yes.
Nah,
And
it was a blank though.
That was but that was a different time period, right? So nowadays people can say what they want. It's no consequences. It's a social media era. But we grow up in a culture where you go to the cookout, you go over for a family get together, you talking shit all day. So for me, it ain't nothing to talk. It ain't nothing to roast and have fun and do that, because that's just a part of it. That's a part of it, one part of it, and that's the fun part of it for me. So
yeah.
It's disrespectful, but I expected that from him a lot sooner than when it came. But when it came, it was like, man, you're just not smart, because if you're trying to fight in the U.S. coming from where he's coming from, the U.K. area, and you need to get a visa and you posting stuff like that, it's just not smart. So it just tell me your team is a team full of goofies, and they allow you to do this, and you don't have nobody real around you telling you. That's a good point. Because I got
that's not a good look.
I got real ones around me. Like before I post that, and the moment I post it, like take that down, bro. ASAP right now, like yesterday. Like if that's a black man posting that photo, all right, cool.
That's what we're talking about this morning.
You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. People get a pass. The MMA community are giving these Dagestani and Russian guys passes because of how Khabib orchestrated his career. He did it the most humble way possible, I believe. But these other guys are not him, so they're emulating his talk and his walk. And my opponent in specific, he loves Conor McGregor. He's been open about that, so he's trying to play gangster, but the kid's been groomed since he was 12. Money from a sheik.
Good money.
Training in UK wrestling camps.
Prince.
Training in wrestling. Yeah, you got to work hard, and you got to train, and you got to become the guy you are today. I give you respect for that, but you try to act like you lived a hard life. You may have come from a third world country, but man, I've been trying to eat on my own for a very long time. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is.
What was your guys' relationship like in Thailand, though? Because you guys actually trained. You guys had rounds together. You know what I'm saying? Like, was it like a?
He was there for a couple weeks, and at the time I was a sponsored athlete by Tiger Muay Thai, and so with that sponsorship, I got a year visa, a student visa, and they gave me a dorm to stay in and a meal card to get like a meal or two a day, right? And so I'm there. I'm surviving off of like $50 a month. I ain't telling people. I'm showing up to the gym. I'm doing 3 workouts a day. I'm going to Muay Thai in the morning. I'm going to whatever conditioning class I can, and then I'm going to MMA practice in the afternoon, right? And so when he showed up with his team, I had been there about 7-8 months, right, grinding every day. And he showed up with his team from the UK, and like I could just tell there was a different buzz around him and stuff. I was like, okay, this guy got some type of clout or something. And our head coach, he's usually pulled in at the time was usually pulled in a bunch of different ways. He got a lot of UFC athletes there. So like getting pad work with him was difficult. You know, he probably held pad for me 2 times while I was in Thailand, you know. George Hickman, and really, really good coach. And but it's just like so much going on, so many bodies, so much. It's a lot. But this kid came in with his guys from the UK. Everybody's taking photos and stuff, and so I don't know anything about him. We train together. Our spar rounds, you know, I guess I was going a little too hard. He was like, "Bring it down, brother," right? And then we get to our grappling rounds, and he goes 110%, right? So I'm like, all right, this is where he feel comfortable. You could just tell about somebody, right? And we take photos. I don't make nothing of it. You know what I'm saying? I toned it down. Like I'm a very respectful training partner. Like I don't really have issues when it comes to like ego when I'm training. You know, 9 times out of 10. You know, unless it's something else there with that person that I don't even know. You know, but that was the training. You know, we took photos. He went about his day. He went about his week there. But, you know, in the back of my mind, I always kind of felt some type of way because I feel like, man, I've been here this long, and this guy's getting this special treatment and, like, pad work and stuff like this. I'm like, man, I grind on my own here a lot since I've been here. I ain't asked for nothing, you know. So it made me feel some type of way, but then I just show up and do my part. I'm showing up early to practices 9 times out of 10, 30 minutes early doing my own thing. So I see that, and I'm like, it is what it is. Now, when I learn about him later, and I see, he's got all these amateur fights, he's undefeated, and these things, I don't think he had went pro. He had one pro fight at the time, and so undefeated as an amateur. So you see why people want to get behind a young dude, throw money at him, but I'm like, man, he ain't doing nothing special, bro. Like, I'm looking at the guys he fought. Half his career, he's fighting in shin pads. I was fighting grown men at that age with nothing.
Nothing, no. We fighting like pros and amateurs.
And they smoking in there. You know what I'm saying? This South Broadway. You know what I'm saying? Like, anybody know anything about Broadway, you know, it's an old boxing club, you know, but it's small, but it's some of the best fights happening there. And, like, you gotta fend for yourself. You know what I'm saying? So, and you know, I don't know, man. I see his career. I see him as a fighter, and I don't take nothing from anybody. I respect everybody, but I just know what I put in.
For sure. And yeah, we know you put in that work. You know, you have all these fantastic accolades as a professional fighter already, but getting to the UFC, getting to that apex, you know, the top of the top, as most people view the UFC in the fighting world. What does that mean to you to actually, you know, to be there, to ready go make a name for yourself in this UFC world compared to the world of MMA?
Yeah, the UFC is a different animal in itself, and it gives us all an outlet that we can take advantage of to make ourselves a household name, but also make a career out of what we love doing. You fighting on the regional scene, you still gotta work. I was working a job, Joaquin was working a job, fighting on the regional scene. You know, like, you gotta figure it out, you know. And where we come from, we learned that very early. You know, we don't have much marketability in St. Louis, you know, and it's crabs in the barrel. Like, everybody's trying to find a way out, you know. And so being in the UFC is just something I dreamed of for years, and I felt like I would have been here earlier had I not gone to Thailand, but you never know, because guys that I fought ended up in the UFC, you know.
Brandon Royval,
exactly,
friend of the show.
Exactly. So, and Brandon's cool dude. We still cool. And so, like, he was saying to my coach about, I think 8 months ago, he seen Joaquin. They was at the Apex or something, and I don't know. I guess they had their own conversation, but, like, people were like, "Man, why Charles isn't in the UFC yet? Like, what's going on?" You know,
Yeah.
like.
They'll face some dogs. It's crazy.
And for me, man, it was just about a mentality of, like, when you get to the UFC, you want to compete for a world championship. You don't want to just be there. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if I can't dominate in the UFC, in the LFA, how I'm going to go into the UFC looking to fight against guys that's supposed to be better than these guys that I'm fighting as well, because those guys going to be prospects too, you know? So, like, I got to dominate where I'm at before and I'm going to make them sign me. Like, if they not choosing to sign me, they not gonna have a choice. Dominate until they don't have a choice. My next goal was gonna be fight at 135, and fight for that belt because I saw guys that were strong, but I trained with strong guys, bigger than me. Everybody's bigger than me. You know, I'm like, that was going to be my next goal if they didn't sign me after my fight in January. You know, but I had to take my time and listen to my team and say, just, it's going to happen. Just be patient.
Yeah. And speaking of Brandon Orville, guy trained out of Denver, another Missouri. Oh, I'm sorry, another dude who trains in Denver, Missouri. I want to ask you, Buck. I can't think of his damn name right now, but you guys had some beef. He's got his own gym now. James.
Oh, you talking about? Oh, yeah, from
Kansas City. That's KC. KC. Yeah. That's not St. Louis. Not at all.
Yeah, it's the most.
Not at all.
Missouri, but that ain't St. Louis though. Okay.
Not at all.
But regardless, what about him?
So like, because I know you've been looking for like the bigger fights because you're one of the bigger draws. Every fight you're in is very entertaining.
Thank you.
He's obviously had been in the UFC a long time, had a name, trained dudes, stuff like that. Like, is that a fight we may see in the future? Is that something?
Nah, man. James Krause is looking to retire. You know what I mean? I already talked to his manager. His manager confused. He don't know what he want to do with Jason House because, I ended up putting a tag with Jason House in it, trying to set the fight up. You know what I mean? He's like, man, stop tagging me. I was like, hey, you manage him, right? He's like, yeah. I was like, well, you were part of that whole business. Like, let's set this up. He's like, well, I don't know what he's trying to do. I guess he wants to retire this year or next year, whatever, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I ain't worried about him, because I'm helping him out. You know what I mean? This next fight I'm about to have, I'm fighting a ranked opponent. And I don't know anything about James Krause's career, but I don't think he ever fought in the top 15. You know what I mean? And my thing is I'm moving forward in my career while he's stepping back. You know what I mean? So I ain't looking for it. I ain't looking for it to happen.
For sure. And, yeah, we talked about your fights being exciting. Obviously, finishes like we know, finish of the year, one of the best knockouts we've ever seen in the UFC. I look at that, and I look at how you did that kick, and we've seen, with other knockouts of that fashion, like with the Jorge flying knee, he practiced that before, it actually happened. He practiced that. Is that something that you practiced? Is that something that you've thought about doing before, or was it just like a spur of the moment?
It was a spur of the moment, but I did practice that move. You know what I mean? I practiced it on a heavy bag. I seen Raymond Daniels hit the two-touch before, you know what I mean? And just the spinning back kick, I just love that move. I think it's one of the most powerful techniques to use in martial arts. But just practice on the bag all the time. People looking at me like, man, you ain't finna hit that, you know what I'm saying? But my thing was I just enjoyed the technique. I loved how, I was able to explode, you know what I mean? It was just a good workout, you know what I mean? And how I used to just dent the bag, you know what I mean, with so much force, you know what I mean? So it was just fun to do, but when the opportunity presented itself against Emperor Kasaganai, like, you know what I'm saying, I seen it. I was like, yeah, let me go ahead and pull this off real quick. Yeah.
He took that as well as anybody could take that.
Man, shout out to Emperor, man. And it's unfortunate because the UFC should have kept him.
They should
have. Because
he was going hard.
Just his character alone, though. You know what I mean? I think that's a type of person that you want representing your promotion. You know what I mean? Just my opinion. But he doing big things right now with the Eagle FC. Yeah.
Yeah, 100% too. And like for me personally, when I first started podcasting and do a broadcast from my basement, now you're having a mic. You were actually like a big inspiration for me because when you came up, you had that knockout. I was listening to Ariel the next day, and you were at the time just had a baby. Working at the pharmacy, stuff like that. And you just had that your whole life switched like that, man. But I was just thinking like, dog, he never gave up on the dream though. You know what I'm saying? This shit came through. I'll get goosebumps talking about it now.
Yeah, man. I feel you, man. I appreciate it, but I just stay committed. It's just like I actually stopped hunting the dream though. That's what I'm gonna keep it 100. I stopped even believing that I'm gonna be in the UFC one day. But for just my mental wellness, you know what I mean, and just want to just stay active, I just continue to train and just do it for myself. You know what I mean? So I was with my guy, Edric Dillard, Max Churyev, like, you know what I mean? These are the guys that, I train with back home in St. Louis that are my solid foundation, you know what I mean? And, anytime I call them up, I like, hey, y'all want to hit some mitts? Y'all want to go outside, train a little bit, you know what I mean? They're like, yeah, and they pop up. So, these are the guys that I was able to train with. But I just stayed committed to just training, bro, you know what I mean? And eventually, when I stopped hunting that dream and started chasing after it, it came to me. You know what I mean? All the years I've been trying to get it and wanting it so bad, praying for it, you know what I mean? It never came in sight. I couldn't even see it. But as soon as I walked away from it and just kept doing me and just focusing on myself, that's when the dream came straight to me.
100%. That kind of translates to you a little bit, too, because you've been doing security, the urban survival stuff for a very long time. And I'm actually not familiar. How did it end up popping off? Like, what was the initial video for you, Commander Dale?
Well, I started in 1995 teaching self-defense and survival tactics. So it was how to defend yourself with a knife, a baton, a pistol, a shotgun, a rifle, stand up, on the ground, fighting multiple aggressors. That was the purpose of my school, right? I didn't know anything about psychology. And psychology is really the most important thing I teach now. After 27 years of experience in force-on-force conflict with violent individuals and gangs armed with knives and guns, in Detroit and surrounding communities. Now I got a chance to really see bloodshed and to see what really happens. So now I have a completely different way of thinking because I've experienced. So once you've experienced, it changes you. But speaking to what he's talking about, the commitment is really the key. The key to your fight game, whether it's survival or sport, is the same thing. Whoever has the highest degree of commitment is going to be the winner. And that's what D'Amato said about Tyson. He said, it's not who has the greatest skill set. It's who has the highest commitment. He said 75% of a fighter is their willpower.
And I got a question. How do you feel about, like, because I feel like I wrote this in my journal like years ago. It's like pain, the ability to endure pain, the ability to transfer and filter pain into something positive. I felt like I wrote down in my journal, I was like, man, that's my greatest attribute. Anything that's ever been against me or caused me pain or anything like that, I've been able to filter that, turn that into something positive. And not just for myself, but like my relationships with my family, my relationships with my friends, my relationships, my personal relationships, you know, coaches, sport, everything. So the ability to endure pain, I feel like, is such a great attribute, and transfer it and filter it into something which is
resilient,
which goes into my 3 P's, which is prayer, positivity, and perseverance. You know, those are my 3 things that I wrote on my dorm wall when I was 19 years old. I lost my scholarship. I was on a full scholarship for track and field, and I failed one class twice. It was worth a million credits, and I came back to school and didn't know I had lost my scholarship. So now I got to figure out how I'm going to eat, where I'm going to live, got to get a job. I'm not running this semester. What I'm going to do? I had to figure it out. It was out-of-state tuition. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you got all these people with these expectations on you. I was a 2-time AAU Junior Olympic national champion in track. And my freshman year, I was the man. Like, I made all conference, and I was running great times. So sophomore year, I come back, people expecting a lot out of me, not just myself, but my family, my coaches, my university. So, like, learning how to transfer those things, you know what I'm saying? It's just, I think commitment, but it's hard to stay committed to something sometimes when you don't understand it, or, you know what I'm saying, or it's so far away, you know, like you gotta, and that's the one thing that I am big on now is like one day at a time, daily goals. I set long-term goals, but like my daily goals is be on point, man. Hitting them every day.
That's it.
And about, you know, pausing on that opportunity when it's presented to you, because like you talked about, you know, pain, and like I forget who said it. I know it's at the beginning of a song. I can't remember what song. Like, fear, it's if you can get it to push you from behind rather than stand in front of you. Like, it's a powerful thing. Yeah. And it's, you know, you talked about, you know, going to college and all that. So when I was in college and I was, you know, paying for the tuition by myself, paying for the housing by myself, working 45 hours a week at a food stop while doing 14 credits a semester, you know, and getting out of there, being so worn from that for years, like, all right, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. Find the first job I had and just working and living off that.
Facts. And
then getting into this, I literally saw them broadcasting from a big boy that was 2 miles away from my house. They hadn't been answering my emails about, you know, me sending. I went up there.
I was gonna say, you showed up, didn't you?
I showed up. I shook his hand, sat him down, said, "This is
I'm
what
here.
I can bring to you. Yeah, I'm here. I want this. This is what I can bring to you." So, obviously, in the fight game, has to be a different level to that kind of perseverance.
It's all the same, man.
Yeah.
And people deal with, everybody's adversity in life is different.
Yeah.
A rich man, it might be something minimal to a poor man. A poor man, it might be something minimal to a rich man. But to them, it's that adversity is the biggest thing in the world. So at the end of the day, we all have adversities that we got to deal with and learn how we going to get to that next thing. You know what I'm saying? So I don't put anything ahead of mine. I just try to focus on how I can be the best version of me. That's why my name is the Energy. What's in me? What am I going to pull out of me at all times? That's me. You know what I'm saying?
100%. It's crazy because, like, we're usually known for, like, being the goofy show on the network. We're just clowning with the heavyweights, but, like, we're preaching this bitch, bro. Like,
oh, yeah, man. It's my life, man.
Hey, we can clown all day.
Yeah.
We can
Look,
clown
I'm trying
all
to keep
day,
tears from coming out, my nigga.
Yeah. No, really, though, because we used to the pain thing. Like, when I started podcasting, the reason why is, like, I had lost my job and I had went to jail and everything. And I just had a baby. That's why I was relating to you. And I was like, bro, like, I felt shameful. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm literally not making any bread right now. Like, I have a son to take care of. I was like, my whole mindset switched and turned to positivity. I'm about to make him proud. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to do something to make him proud. The same thing. I was just in my basement going hard. Next thing you know, like, boom, like Woodward Sports is like.
But I love how you say your mindset switch.
That was your coin flip.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yep. And that's what it is. It's just that mindset switch that a lot of people got to do that in order to get where they want to be, because they doing the same things. They got the same habits, you know what I mean? And they trying to be in a different place. You can't do the same things, you know? That's what they call insanity. You do the same thing over and over, expecting different results, bro. You crazy. You know what I mean? You got to do something different.
Unless I am fucking crazy and I'm gonna make this shit happen.
Big fact.
Yes.
But still though, it's still like even if that's the case, it's still things that we can change up. You know what I mean?
Facts.
To make better. You know.
Yeah.
But my biggest thing is just that mental, change that in your head, that it all starts with yourself. You know what I mean? You had to look yourself in the mirror like, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So I don't always put things on like my family or on my baby. I had to make that change for myself.
Yes.
I had to want it for myself, not for anybody else. You know what I mean? Because I would probably only go so far. You know what I mean? So my biggest thing is, like, anybody out there in the world, man, like, you got to put that mental, like, whatever you want to change in this, you got to change your mindset first. Period.
Right.
You know?
Jackson said the man in the mirror. You know what I'm saying? He was not
Man
lying.
in the
Yeah, I am where I am.
We're all our own worst enemy.
Yep. I am where I am because I stood on the shoulders of giants. And I say that's my mama and my daddy and my parents and the people who made me what I am.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? I'm very interested in, like, what got you into doing what you do. You know what I'm saying? Like security and what pushed you to that?
Well, a girl was chased off a bridge, and that's when I decided there was something more important than money. So I thought it would be great to come to Detroit. I'm from Ann Arbor, where University of Michigan is, and I thought it'd be great to have a business in Detroit that teaches people how to legally defend themselves. So I've been going to all these different martial arts schools my whole life. Being a private investigator, when I got out of the military, that's when I learned how the law applies to your real life in court. You actually see what happens. I'm actually watching court cases, seeing what's happening to people, seeing all the different self-defense scenarios.
That's
For
legal?
Me, yeah, right. I was like, wait, and then I'm like, wait, isn't that legal?
Right.
Wait, someone attacked you and you defend yourself and you got to go to jail? I was like, no, how come nobody knows this? How come nobody knows if you use your weapon under these conditions, you can still go to jail? How come nobody knows that you disarmed them, but then they may not believe you disarmed them, and now all of a sudden you got to go to jail? Yeah. How come people don't realize that if you kick someone who kicked you 30 times, you kick them back, you only kick them twice, but the first time you kicked them, they turned around to leave, and you kicked them again.
That's
excessive force,
yep.
right?
Yep.
And you are now creating a legal problem for yourself and your family. Yep. We don't know these things. We don't know that once the threat is stopped, immediately you cannot continue to aggress. And those are just basic things, right? But that was my original reason for teaching. Was I never had any martial arts instructor that talked about the law. We never talked about it. And one of my instructors was a SWAT team commander in Kyokushinkai. And I loved him. He was a great instructor. He lived the way. He was a really positive individual, just really disciplined individual. And what was amazing, though, we never talked about the law, like physical force and violence and what to do first, second, third. When do you call police? What do you say to police? What do you not say? What happens if you use a weapon? When can you use a weapon? When can you not use a weapon? We never talked about those things. We're talking all the time. And so I did a lot of tactics with him, personally, and that's where I learned a lot of my martial arts. Initially was going to different instructors. And what I would do, since I want to matriculate in the system, I don't want to get my black belt in Taekwondo and then go over here to this Hapkido school and this Japanese Kyokushin school and this all the differences, judo. I mean, I loved all these different arts, but I loved one part of them. Each one of them had something to offer, but I did not want to become a master of any of them. And one of the reasons was because, you're actually being indoctrinated into the culture, and that's part of every system. I'm going to teach you about our culture, and which I can respect that, and the esoterics of it, which I respect that as well. But that's not what I came there for. I wanted to know, if I am surrounded, what do I do? If I have a pistol, a shotgun, a rifle, a knife, if they have a pistol, shotgun, rifle, or knife, what do I do? What if they have a baseball bat? What do I do? So I had to go to different instructors and see what their solutions were. Most of them had no solutions for weapons. Yeah. Half of them had something, but only for a few of the weapons. None of them even dealt with like the most common criminal weapons. Yeah. And so I said, man, we need to have this. Yeah. How come we don't real life, like every day going there? There's no 15 minutes of self-defense class like in most the schools I went to. It's the entire time. The time you enter, the time you exit, is all one thing. Yeah. What do you do to defend yourself against real life criminal activity, not bar fighting. I mean, someone with a knife, a pistol, a shotgun, a rifle that's here to kill you. I don't mean like we go outside and fight. Yeah. I don't like you. You don't like me. Let's go outside. Let's make a deal. Me and you fight. You know,
jiu-jitsu could fix that, but it can't help you if you're getting jumped.
Right. Listen, you could be a great
Jiu-jitsu
fighter.
The worst thing for the streets, bro.
Right. You can be a great fighter.
You can't lay down here.
Hey, come my guard, bro.
You gonna get stomped out.
I mean, there's some. And I'm getting a lot of heat from this right
it's
now.
It's more than one person for sure.
I mean, you know, if you have not been hit in the side of your skull, in the back of your neck, if you have not been stomped, if you've not been hit in the side of your throat, and that's when they start hitting you. That's the first hit. Yep. If you've not been struck in the base of your skull by someone 100 pounds above your weight class,
and you don't see it coming,
and you can't, because you'll fight this guy. I'm fighting this dude here when his boy hits me from the behind. So this is what's real, man. This is real life. This is what's killing people. People aren't really being punched to death one-on-one. It does happen, but that's not the major problem.
The ones you
not being
see.
wrestled to death one-on-one, right? The problem is, like I was talking about this one guy in Texas. He's a jiu-jitsu champion, right? There's a bunch of champions that have died, not because they're not good, not because jiu-jitsu didn't serve them. Jiu-jitsu was great. They were great. What happened was they applied jiu-jitsu, right?
Yeah,
they're now in a situation where they're great fighting
wrong
skills.
Environment.
Right. And it's like you're now... Right, you're now outside of the scope of your training, and all they needed to do was change one attribute of it. And one example was a guy who's in Texas, in El Paso. He is a great fighter. I can tell by his attributes. He's got some good mechanics. He's delivering energy. Got a couple kids are backed up, and these are regular, like we call them thuglets. These aren't serious violent criminals. I mean, they're violent and they are criminal, but they're not the serious ones with guns, knives, bats, and not even. They did beat him to death. I didn't know this. I thought they just beat him up. And what they did was they got him on the ground. They started stomping on the skull. That's high school here in Detroit. That's high school. That's a high school fight.
Yeah,
okay?
you in the palace. You in the palace in St.
I'm
Louis.
about to say that.
Hey, we had lock-ins, bro. People getting jumped, beat up. It's a scary.
This is the messed up.
The Palace of Auburn Hills, all right?
But look, this is the sad part. Like
Limelight days.
This is the sad part. Like when a dude getting jumped because he slipped and fell, it be random up,
right? Random,
just because you can't be the one that falls. And everybody start getting names in. They don't even know that. What do you do? I don't know.
I disarmed.
You make eye contact and they feel ashamed. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I disarmed this girl who was slashing these very large females. She was slashing across the face. I didn't know. All I saw was
heavyweight.
Yeah, she was not. She was thin, and the person she was slashing was like bigger than most dudes in this room. And and I was like, all I saw was the hands moving. I put her like in a modified arm bar, grabbed her back. Her arm went into like a arm bar this way as I pulled her back, and she dropped the blade. And I put her arms both behind her back here and grabbed the knife off the ground. Gave her to the police. Gave the knife to the police. The police were there, and it turns out the entire crowd was attacking these three small girls. They were ripping their clothes off. And the three small girls, I disarmed one of them.
Yeah.
And I'm very upset because I did not know they were getting jumped. All I know was I see blood and a knife going in the air. So I'm not thinking this is a victim. I thought this is the perpetrator.
Yeah. You got
so I gave to police, and make a long story short,
This is in the city? Is it Detroit?
Yeah, it's downtown. And right next to the Renaissance Center, and a nightclub. And make a long story short, those girls ended up going to prison, and they were being attacked by approximately 50 people.
Yeah, that's crazy.
The first was those females I was telling you about, and they got their faces slashed up. Another thing people don't understand about law. So those girls were upset with us. Like, we rescued you. I rescued you. We gave her first aid. We pulled her hood back up. A lot of people don't know this. Your skull, your face is just sitting on you. Yeah. It's actually like a hood. So when she started slashing this attacker, her face started sliding down. It's the first time I ever saw a face start sliding. And my guy pulls her face up, starts giving her first aid. She's bleeding in my vehicle, almost bled to death. And they testified against these small girls. I'm really upset to this very day because I was not allowed to go in the courtroom to testify for these girls. And they ended up going to prison. But they were the victims.
Why didn't they testify?
I was not allowed in the courtroom for whatever reason. And I was told to come to court, but I was told to leave. So what I'm going to tell you is, this is why people need to understand the law, the physical part of the law.
And what was the judgment on them? What was
attempted murder? They pulled out a knife and started stabbing unarmed women, even though the women were twice their size, and these women like men. And the girls are really pretty and really slim, and they were avoiding conflict when they were attacked by a mob.
Heavy D.
And these were pretty girls. So these are pretty girls. Basically, pretty girls being attacked by big, ugly girls.
Yeah.
And they don't know the law. They didn't understand how the law works. They didn't do anything. Let me be clear. The small girls did nothing illegal. They did everything legal. But people don't understand how the legal system is not based upon the law. It's based upon interpretation and what other people see, feel, and what they believe they want to do. It's selective and elective. So what my training does, what Detroit Urban Survival Training does specifically, is increases your survivability physically and legally, right, and financially. There's no guarantees, but what we're going to do is give you intelligent options based upon years of experience and bloodshed that I can share with you, things I would have never known or guessed about bullets, about being my people have been shot. None of us are dead. Why is that? We stabilized our wounded. We saved other people's lives that were their heads cracked open. That were stabbed, shot. You don't understand wound care if you haven't been caring for wounds. You don't understand violence if you haven't been in force-on-force violence with people with knives and guns. Yeah. And so it's not the same thing as sport. When I'm teaching on videos, people are looking at it like, well, that's peculiar. I've never seen that before. Because you never got taught by someone who's involved in bloodshed. I understand. Yeah. I wasn't either. This looks totally different than what I was taught. When I was taught, I could grab a wrist, go like this. I'd go like this and take the guy down. In real life, we go like this, I get punched in the face. Right? There's none of
boom, 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 boom.
If he's not, if
Do it at once.
Yeah, if he's not a aggressor, I can do it. Like if he's just resisting me and just being like, I don't want to go, I don't want. Yeah, I can do that. But if he's an actual combatant, and I try to grab, it's not gonna happen. Yeah, you're gonna get punched in the face on a good day.
That's what I like the most about what you're doing in your host is like we talked about putting people in those situations that they haven't been in before. We apologize. We said it at the beginning. That's what I like about it, is put you put people in those situations that they haven't been in before, so they know how to handle themselves. Like that.
At least give you an idea, man. The whole point is, you can learn a lot from videos.
Yes,
you can learn a lot. Let me be clear. People are saving themselves every day without my videos at all. They're taking guns from people. The Waffle House shooter. He was attacked by a 6'5" naked guy who killed 4 people. By the way, you can comply and they still shoot you. Comply and die. And according to the FBI, if you resist, you increase your survivability. That's from the FBI based on the data of people who resisted versus those who did not. Thousands of people got murdered last year that did not resist. That means they gave up everything. Money, body, spirit. They gave up everything they were asked for, and they still got killed.
See those cartel videos and stuff like that? I'm like, dog, if I know I'm dying either way, like, you got to earn this kill. You know what I'm saying? There's no way. That's your unless you consciously decide that, your subconscious response system is going to take place. And here's what I had a chance to do with my 3,500 team members. I had pro fighters on my team. I had street guys who couldn't spell fighter or street, but they're violent. I had guys who spent most of their life in a cage back in the 90s. They were people that we used to protect the community. I got these bad guys to become good guys. I trained them from the streets, and I got a chance to see the different thought process. I had police officers on my staff training right next to them. So police and people who used to be on the other side all working together for community protection. That means we don't come after, we come before you're raped, robbed, or murdered. Because we know there's rapist, robber, murder in the area. We go there now, right? And then we get to interface with them. So when they come to kill the family, we're there before they get there. We call the police first. So we're the actual author of the 911 call, because we would need police en route by the time that the violence occurs. We have already articulated our self-defense strategy by contacting 911 first. We sought legal intervention, and due to exigent circumstances, meaning we had to take an action, or otherwise a terrible thing would have happened in the absence of taking that action. And as a result of exigent circumstances, we were legally able to defend ourselves and the lives of others. At times 27 years with no court dates. So understand, you can defend yourself, you can defend others, but you must understand the law. And the law is not black and white. It's not what's written, it's how it's interpreted. You can do exactly what it says you can do in writing and go straight to prison.
Still get life.
Right, still get life in prison. You did exactly what the words say on the paper, but that's not how it was interpreted. And so as a result, you're now going to jail. Just last week, 2 days ago in New York City, bodega owner stabbed a guy in the throat and killed him.
Saw that.
And the guy came and pushed him.
He went to jail for it.
He went to jail because in his mind he thought, if you come to attack me, hand to hand, I should be able to stab you. Well, not only is that not necessarily legal in New York, it's not legal in a lot of places. to use a weapon on someone who's unarmed just because they want to beat you up.
Yeah, so would that have been illegal here? Or would that have been like safe in Detroit?
No, of course not. You can't use a weapon on someone who's unarmed just because they want to beat you up.
Gun
Gun and knife is not a fighting
You have to
device.
feel like your life is at stake. Like they're gonna attack you,
Well,
right?
no, you can feel
Like
anything you
they're
want.
attacking you. They have to be attacking you, right?
Right. can prove in court.
It's not about your. This is where we get confused.
Yeah.
Your feelings don't matter. So you can say, I feel like he could kill me.
Yeah.
Right? The
It's
court
gotta
looks
be
at him
happening.
and they like the way he looks better than me when you get to court.
Yeah.
Like, he looks so nice in his hat.
But the cops can do that though. That's messed up.
Correct.
How
And
they
that's
feel?
that.
Let me get the swinging on
No,
the cop.
that's
Boom, boom,
no,
boom,
you
boom,
don't have to
You
swing
seen
on.
Train today?
You don't have to swing. You
Alonzo,
don't have to swing on a cop.
everybody.
So understand this about this is where people get messed up. The police, they start one of two things. You either watch the news or you listen to a police officer tell you how they articulated threat from a police perspective. Yeah. Police officers qualify for something called immunity, meaning when they're doing their job, they can do things based on their opinion and feelings because they are law enforcement officers. Mm-hmm. That means that they smell something and they believe that is an illegal substance, they can then take illegal action that you can't take. So, because you smelled something, right? Yep. There's all the things they can do. And so until we learn,
that's probable cause.
Right. And then what we need to understand is, what does all that mean to you? So one of the things I teach when dealing with police is called advanced compliance, right? So during, for example, a traffic stop, first thing you do is pull over. You see red and blue lights or blue lights, doesn't matter. There's police behind you, pull over immediately. You don't even check to see, well, maybe they're going by me. Maybe they're not pulling me over. You pull over anyway, right? Which, by the way, technically is the law anyway. Pull over, right? Let them go by. Now, if you pull over really fast, what happens is, and it was you, they're like, oh, they pulled over right now. There's immediate compliance, which means it's hard for their heart rate to go up. It's hard for them to get excited about pulling you over, or scared about pulling you over, or apprehensive in any way because you pulled over so quickly. Immediate compliance. You take the keys out if you have keys, or you turn it off. Hey, the device out that window with your driver's license, registration, insurance, or whatever else you got, and everybody should have their hands out of the windows, all the windows of the car, even if it's wintertime. Even if it's, I don't care if it's snow, winter, whatever it is, it's raining. Everything, put everything, all your hands out here so they can see it, right? So the cameras can see it. Everyone drive by can see it. And what the police are going to do when they see that is tell you to put your hands back in the car. It's cool, relax. Don't do all that. You don't do all that. Because you already acquiesced, because you already complied, there's really nothing for there to be a disagreement about. Yeah. Because there's really never a time for you to argue with police about anything, question anything. Because it doesn't matter. Yeah. No, it doesn't matter. Because if they're going to say you did something, they're going to say you did something. If you have something to say against that, you say it with an attorney in a court of law, not on the side of the road. Yep. They say you ran a light. No, I didn't. Okay,
my uncle was killed by police, and the biggest thing our family took away from it was on some dirt shit too. Well, it was like, he was running though. I'm saying he was driving away, whatever. But
he run all the time.
Dukes of Hazzard
ran every day.
If he wasn't running, you know what I'm saying, and he did listen, he would have been in that situation.
Right. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. That's not necessarily. Remember that. People aren't running. Some people are sleeping. Some people sit in their car. Yeah. Your situation does not dictate. What you can do is increase or decrease your likelihood of survivability during a police traffic stop by how you behave. Right. Yeah. So what we do is we encourage people to behave a certain way to decrease the likelihood of having injury or death.
Exactly, yeah. That's why I knew when I got pulled over, I put my keys on the hood and everything. Because my whole family was saying is like...
I wouldn't do that too much action. You want to do limited action. Yeah. Because so remember that any action can be considered. And I wouldn't put my hands on the steering wheel, put your hands outside, because when you put them on the steering wheel, they're still inside the car. Yeah. So it's still an opinion about where your hands were. If your hands are outside, it's really... unless you have extra hands, there's no way this can be misunderstood. Right? You're not just showing that, you're showing psychologically the intent to comply. I wouldn't do that. I would, if you have a pile of donuts, I still wouldn't do that. Yeah, I wouldn't even offer a donut. That may be an extra ticket. Yeah, but my point is, whether you agree with police or what they're doing or not, it doesn't matter. Yeah. Do you disagree with criminals when they pull you out of your house, or no, you don't disagree.
It's
it's
like arguing with your boss.
Right. Why are you arguing?
It's like arguing with your boss. Like
your
boss made a decision. You're trying to argue with your.
Yes, and if you want to argue, if you want to argue with your boss, it's a good point. Yeah. What do? You call the state. No, you call the state, and the state will come in and spank your boss for you. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yes. Oh, you thought you got people working overtime without paying them? You don't talk to your employer about that. You talk to the state about that. You talk to the feds about that. They'll fix that. They'll fix the employer. So the point is, don't create conflict, avoidable conflict with police or civilians, because it doesn't increase your survivability, and it doesn't help your financial or physical condition. And our training is really about you know, even for fighters, right? You know, keeping them safe physically, right? Meaning life and death situations, but also financially. You could run up on a fighter, fight them, and get to collect their money just because you started with them and you have more money. Their lawyers will help you get their money.
Don't try it though, bro. I'm gonna tell you that right now. You're gonna get a good little check, but it's gonna be something that costs.
Right? They don't mind, but they don't mind the cost. As I say, they don't mind the cost.
Use that check to pay off your hospital.
Listen, they don't mind. They would rather get a broken jaw and get a Bentley than sit around with a good working jaw and live at their mom's house.
And also, Dad, that's why I appreciate you too, man, for training. Because my thing is, why don't they train the public? They train police officers, train the public on how to deal with police officers in any situation.
There's liabilities involved.
Don't make no sense.
It's so many municipalities. Like I don't know. You see a lot of policemen not doing their job the way they supposed to do their job.
All I'm saying, regardless of that fact, though, like they should still train citizens like on how to conduct themselves, on how when they get pulled over. Like we don't do that in driving school. You know what I'm saying? Like
it's very hard. That's very hard.
Make you draw 50 signs, but
what makes a policeman's job so hard though? It's all perception. Like how is that policeman in particular perceiving what's happening?
That's it. And
that goes back to remember what we were talking about earlier. Like it's perception.
And before we deal with any of that is this factor. We're sending police officers to violent situations. Yep. Where they could have guns. And if you're in the United States, you definitely should think they have guns, right? Yeah. And we as society are sending them there without a bulletproof car 9 times out of 10. That doesn't make sense. You send a fire truck to a non-fire truck to a fire? No, you send a fire truck, which means it's also fire retardant. It's got firefighting devices on it. Yeah. The vehicle itself, not just the firefighter, is for fighting fires. Guess what? The police officer needs to be protected from gunfire, from head to toe, not the back of their skull, the face first. All the body needs to be protected, not just this part. And then imagine that when someone's unsafe, you then tell them go by themselves. Do you scuba dive by yourself? No. Do you go hiking by yourself? Never. Everything that you do that's even remotely dangerous requires 2 people at the same time. So we're creating conditions which are inherently unsafe. You ever see an ambulance worker do they work by themselves? That'd be safer. That's not safe, but they would be safer than being a person who actually interfaces with the apex predator on this planet. Human beings. And you don't even know who's psychotic or not, who's drunk, who's high, who's crazy,
just an old person having a bad day.
How about a person having a bad day? You don't even know who this is today, but you're about to have contact with them at a coffee shop, at a restaurant, in your home, at your home. I mean, police have homes, so someone could come to their door, and this is where I say people need to understand. When you are looking at police officers, remember they're people just like you, they're like your family. These are people's family members. You're putting them at risk by not giving them protection and then saying, why don't you act differently? Well, first thing we should do, in my opinion, is provide them with all the protective equipment, gear, and vehicles, and then the training, and then have expectations to match what we need for public safety. But until we're going to provide them with the actual physical safety for their position, how about this? If you want police officers pulling people over on the side of the road, you should have built the highway with a pull-off. Every mile, there should be a pull-off. Why is that? Because police officers are being hit on the side of the road all the time. It's not uncommon. And citizens, entire families are being killed on the side of the road sometimes when cars hit them as well. So to save police officers and the public, if we wanted people to be pulled over on the highway, it should have been done safely by making a pull-off in the design.
It wouldn't be hard.
No, and if not, just don't do it, because one death of one officer costs more than all the concrete for all those pull-offs for your whole state. So that's one death, man. So imagine the concept that we're operating under for safety is just inherently unsafe by design. My point is that instead of complaining, what I did was create an organization to help people. And, the police have policing. Policing is enforcing laws. And on the best day, enforcing laws means that the laws have been broken, meaning someone home invaded someone's doing something, someone's did something. And then the police come there. But that's after. And so what I saw was a need that we needed to have in the community. I was in East Side Detroit. The girl got chased off the bridge, which is what made me fixate on public training. I believe that people needed protection. So I just wanted to just get to the East Side where I thought people needed the most. And I started training people. I got a school about the size of this room. Maybe it was like 2 of these. And the way I did that is I went to the owner of the building and I said, listen, we need to help the families here. There's home invasions here. Every month there's a murder in this 1 square block. And there's home invasions every day. And the police, the 911 operators know my name. I call 911 so much. They're like, Dale, is that you? Dale, you already called about this screaming woman. The voice. People shooting. Look, Dale, like, hey, John, is that you? Hey, Janice, how you doing? That's me. They're shooting again. It's every day, though. They know my name. Yeah. And I couldn't believe it. Like, okay, so I went to the building owners, super rich guy, right? And I said, we need to stop these home invasion murders, put up some better doors, make it safer, right? They were like, no, I don't think so. But good luck with that, helping your people with that. I was like, whoa, your people. These are your people. They pay you. Don't pay me. Crazy, right? Man. At the time, I'm working in his parking lot for $4.50 an hour. Minimum wage is $5.15. I work 80 hours a week. I get paid for 40. The 80 hours a week is because the people are screaming. They need help. There are criminals everywhere. And so what I did was I talked to him. He said, no. And I said, man, what's wrong? What am I saying that's wrong? What I'm saying that's wrong is this. This man opened businesses. He has a 17-story building I live in, a 10-story building next door, and a bunch of buildings around the block.
A community he don't even care about.
He doesn't care about that. He cares about money. So whether I think it's right or wrong, what I got to do is speak his language. What am I saying that he cares about?
Money.
But I'm not talking about it. I said, let's spend more money. He was like, so let me get it straight. I've made money since the 1968 Freedom Rebellion called riots in Detroit. So you want me to invest money in a place I'm not making money? And I was like, oh, that's a good point. That's not going to work, is it?
Man, that don't make sense.
So here's what I did. I told him, I found out how much he's losing. $70,000 on the last shooting. I said, give me 6 months. Let me stop the home invasion murders and let me stop these people from moving out from these murders. He was like, what? He said, what can you and a dog and a rifle do that no one else can do? I was like, oh, man, that's a good point. Well, here's what I know. I know legally, in order for me to protect your buildings, I'm going to need to be your security. So you hire me as your security, and I'll probably get killed because this is not a TV show. This is real life. So I'm from Ann Arbor. I'm from the suburbs. I'm pretty much sure I'm going to be killed. But at least it'll be legal at my time of my death, and I'm defending these families from these violent gangs. And he was like, well, this doesn't make sense. But you know what? Fine. I'll let you have the place up front. I said, I need this place for my school. I'm going to get volunteers from the community. I want one free apartment in each building, and I'll protect the building 24 hours a day. Oh, also, I need $2,000 a month, which makes me rich. At the time, $2,000 a month was to me. Well, that's right. I thought I was rich. Yeah. I was a hood rich.
24 grand.
Officially, I was hood rich. Yep, I was hood rich. $2,000 a month. He did it. 6 months later, within that 6 months, I stopped all the home invasions. I caught some home invaders and stopped the rest of them. Yeah. And more importantly, I stopped all the murders. All the murders stopped immediately.
You became a deterrent.
And we became the physical ability to stop it. Mm-hmm. And so they don't care if you observe them. Like, you watching me? 'Cause I'm about to rape, rob, and kill some people. Yep. You can. That's like neighborhood watch. There's more neighborhood watch in Detroit there is in all America. Yep. Okay, you can neighborhood watch criminals kill you. Okay, everybody got killed by a criminal. Watch them kill them. Yep. Okay, so I'm not sure you thought presence was good. Every I know officers that I know personally were tough, and they died. They were there looking at the person killing them, and the person killing them had no training. Okay. So this concept that you have to have all this advanced training for fighting for survival is not true. Okay. Great warriors get killed by people who can't fight at all. Yep. You gotta understand what's going on. Right. So that's what this fantasy is about. You know, being a great fighter in the ring, in the octagon, or anywhere else is great until we change the parameters. Butterbean would kill you in a street fight, no matter who you are. Yep. Okay.
Kimbo Slice, R.I.P.
Kimbo Slice was killing folks, right? Take the gloves off, go in the parking lot. No referee. That changes everything, okay? No referee. I mean, none. I don't mean backyard fights. I mean, nothing. Yeah. That changes everything. Now you got missing teeth, missing groins, face, eyeballs missing, ripped flesh missing. Your face has been pulling off. Yeah, your hood's been pulled back. Right. It's biting your throat, biting your hands. I mean, if you haven't been bitten before, it changed your belief systems about getting beaten, stab shot. So, you know, what I did was I got a chance to see and experience a lot of violence, so it changed my belief systems. I used to believe in punching. Punching is good, except that it does give you bloodborne pathogens. And guess what? They usually punch you back. Yeah. Choking works a lot better. The number of times I got choked back was exactly 0. Out of over 100 people I choked in violent situations, I have never been choked back. I have never been
y'all
choked.
y'all ain't catch that little play. Like number of people, 0.
Yeah, bro.
But
Zero
make sure I
point
put
here,
my
too.
hands in there too. 0.
You know how people
Affirmative.
the number of people that got
Mission completed.
and the number that came back later to attack me after I choked them is also 0 because
Fuck them up.
Deterrent.
because it becomes a choice. So predator is really a coward.
It's that bully
They will get in a car. A police officer half their size can arrest a violent predator like Jeffrey Dahmer who eats people, right? Without issue. I mean,
true booty warrior.
guy can go in a
The
place,
true
kill
booty
70
warrior.
people, shoot 78 people in a movie theater, walk right out, go right into police custody with no problem, right? So the concept that they're tough, they're not tough. They kill women, children, old people, and people slipping.
Prey on the weak.
And that's right. And people not looking,
100%.
people they got to drop on. It's opportunity,
Yes.
right?
Mhm.
They're not
Opportunities.
warriors. They're not going to go up against you nice. They're not with integrity. So you'll say, well, I'll fight you, and then let's go straight up, blah, blah, blah. They'll go, nah, brother. Nah, man, I'm not for that. I don't believe in that. It's against my religion. And then and they'll be like, man, you too big for me, dog. And they'll turn around and then start shooting.
And then you turn around, they already done pulled something out.
Yes,
And
they
I
already
done
had it
seen
planned
it.
out.
I
They
done
ran
seen
to
it.
the car, jumped down on the ground, grabbed under the
not even that, they casual about it. They be
Yes.
having a casual conversation with you.
yeah.
I done seen this
Yeah,
happen in
yes.
person. Having a casual conversation with a man, like you witness it from afar. You see it. You're like, wow, that just happened. You having a casual conversation. Somebody say they get their chest puffed out. They get upset about something. Like, yeah, man, whatever. You know,
because he believed there was
you know,
opportunity.
yeah, that blah, blah, blah. And then the dude was like, yeah, all right, man, whatever. Walk to his car, turn around. Other man turn around, think the situation, he got his issue off, right? He said what he had to say. Other man turn around, bow.
Yep.
That's
and,
it.
And that's because
That's
he
the
perceived the
story.
opportunity. Now, why doesn't he do that same thing to the police officer that comes over and arrests him for whatever? Because there's no perceived opportunity. And he's sane, right? Yeah, and so just because you're a violent criminal doesn't mean you're insane.
He
knows that
it's a
That's some
threat.
crazy
It's a
motherfuckers
threat.
in St. Louis,
It's a
though.
threat of him getting shot back.
Yeah. And so that's why you see that. But the predators that rape, rob, and kill women and children and men not looking and families in certain cases, these violent individuals are also extremely risk adverse. When they find out that you're there, specifically, you can see them. That's why I would have conversations with them. And they would understand that I'm here for them. I'm not here to find out who's selling something or who's doing something illegal. I don't care about that. I care about just one thing. Are you a predator? Because I can see you and I'm just looking for you. Yeah. And you could prey on me instead of these women, children, old people. And once they can see that I'm here for them, then they want to make a deal with me. They want to be my friend. They want to supply with information on other people. Oh, of course you do. But I'm still watching you. Right? As I don't care about that. What I care about is these families that you plan to rape, rob, and kill. And what I was able to do was survive. I didn't know I was going to survive, but most importantly, I made it so the family survived. And as a result, the police department became extremely positive because what happened was the stats showed an extreme drop in criminality in their particular area, this one area. Yeah. It was it was called Crack Alley. Then the most important thing is the families had a great quality of life, and then the businesses, and this is how my business grew. The businesses began to thrive. And why do they thrive? Because when you keep families alive, they spend more money. Now your occupancy goes from 30% to 70, 90.
Now they believe
now
in
you
the
have
system now.
Right,
You know what I'm
because
saying?
they see the money. That guy that I was telling you about, he didn't care about the people. He was like, somehow I'm making a lot more money. So you just keep doing what you're doing.
Hey, Dad, them prices went up, huh?
Oh, yeah, the price.
Them prices went
The price yesterday are not the prices of today.
Yesterday's price is not today's price.
That is correct, sir.
So, yeah, that's a real thing.
Yeah,
Yes,
you got to
sir.
pay to play, man. Yeah, I'll make you some more money, but you got to make sure that you pay for what you're getting, and they don't mind. So they don't mind paying as long as they see direct correlation between your actions, your outcome, and their income. Right. And your outcome and your income should always be related, in my opinion, and they are in a performance-based situation. Yeah. So when you win, you get paid more. When you lose, you get paid less, or you get nothing. Right? And
that's only in our stories. You're right. We would relate. Ain't nobody else do.
But performance payment is key to human behavior, man.
Yeah, man. Like,
it motivates you. I know if I win, I get something. I get credit.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
What time coach needs you back?
We good, man. We good.
Why you saying that, man? 4:30, but I don't know.
We got time. We got time.
You driving back, man?
Y'all do this one last one because we gotta do the live show anyway. But
we got to about 5:30. We good.
We gotta start at 5.
Okay, we got to 5 then.
Yeah, go hit our income. Come
Yeah.
Dana White just gifted the Nelk dudes $250,000.
Yeah.
I know. You didn't see that?
Who got 250,000?
Called Fairgard. Forgard.
Oh, the Nelk boys. Yeah, them boys got
No,
money.
not all of them. Just Forgard.
Kyle
Forgard. Like the main young dude with the
The
dark
little
hair.
white boy. Yeah, I know you.
Yeah.
So he gave Dana how much?
It was for his birthday. He
Dana gave him
250.
Stop. Let
cash,
me pause.
bro.
Let me pause again.
I got you the
Dana,
video.
Dana gave him 250.
Yes.
Dana, you
birthday.
gave. Hold on. What the camera is? What the camera is? Right. Dana, you gave that man $250,000. Where my $200,000 at, man? You say you gonna give me $200,000? You don't even know that boy. I fight for you.
Hey, bro.
Nigga,
Hey,
I fight for
you sound like Martin.
I don't want to go. It's like, you know, I'm working for mine, but damn, Dana. You must like that, boy. Hold on, let me turn this up a little bit. We gotta hear this. In the bag.
In the bag.
In the
Yeah, man.
Wow.
But
Must
you
be
gotta
nice.
think. So it's about building relationships. That kid got a different relationship with Dana. Dana feel comfortable doing that. You know what I'm saying? So,
he feel real comfortable.
He
feel real comfortable.
It's a conversation. It's hard to see that sometimes, but at the same time,
Nah,
you
it
know,
ain't hard to see. It ain't hard to see.
I mean, at the same time, that's his blessing. You know what I'm saying?
You know?
Like,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, I don't know what he did to work for that. You know what I'm saying?
right.
I'm not living his life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's
Yeah,
only
no,
hard. It's hard if you make it hard.
It probably come
you
with
know?
something. Look, Dan, I'm gonna give you a shout out. Your birthday coming up, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna build my little relationship with him.
Yeah. For some people, it's hard to see that, but for others, I mean,
Oh yeah, it is.
Hey, what I'll say is that we went to Apex. That was my first time there.
Yeah.
And it was a great experience. Dana White's operation was super professional.
Yep.
always.
Everybody super
Top
professional.
notch.
Yeah, I was
yeah.
surprised. It was like a extremely structured military operation
Yep.
with class and sophistication. It was unbelievable. Everybody was. Khabib was super positive. Asked to take a picture.
Right.
With
Jim
you.
Miller.
You know, with you.
Oh, you talking about Habib with me?
Yeah, man.
Oh, you got to meet Habib?
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah,
I
he
did
was
too.
down. He was down
Because
there.
I was with him. I got
What's
to meet
up?
Khabib. Right. Yeah, very, very humble, very very professional guy. But everybody was at UFC, man.
That's the one thing about. That's the one great thing about our promotion. I know we're still in our infancy. We just got on ESPN this past year.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We just now getting on daytime television like most other sports always have been. But what's great about the UFC promotion is they take care of us. They pay for our hotels. They fly us out. We see different places in the world. So like, as an athlete, we are fortunate to get that because if you flip that to the other fighting sport, boxing,
Right.
I've been in that. They pay for your flight out there. You got to figure out how you get into the venue, where you going, your own stay, all that.
very
It's-
organized.
You gotta
once
pay for the
you
ticket.
you
Very
got
safe, too.
you got your squad, and that's how you handle things through your squad. That the promotion don't take care of you. You figure it out.
The
when you
UFC
get
had the
there.
whole area on lockdown,
Yeah.
every floor, the outside, everything of the region where all the fighters were staying.
And that's
And,
the
and,
blessing.
and that's the thing.
Very
It's all
professional.
fun and games, man. I like messing with them. They gonna find out like me. I'm different. I'm different from other fighters. You know what I'm saying? Just from my personality wise. But like my fan said, like the UFC takes care of the fighters overall. You know what I mean? And that's one thing. Okay, we might not get paid like the same athletes, whatever, in basketball.
Just yet,
football.
not yet.
But
Soon.
regardless, though, you know what I'm saying? Even though we don't get paid like them, they still don't get the care like we do. You know what I'm saying?
point.
Because we can go out to Las Vegas to UFC PI and get taken care of, like with our meals, with physical therapy. You know what I mean? Housing sometimes. You know what I mean? If you need that, all you got to do is just reach out to them. You know what I mean? So my biggest thing is that, you know, the UFC has done a great job of investing in MMA in general. Like you said, hey, the UFC PI ain't just in Las Vegas. They got one in Shanghai. You know what I mean? They got one building up in Brazil. You know what I mean? So they trying to do a lot for like MMA fighters around the world. You know what I mean? So that's where their investment comes. That's where they pushing that money.
And it's one of the few sports like worldwide, competing worldwide.
Legit.
All the athletes are from worldwide places. You know,
It's like
a lot
how
of-
the NBA is now. Where
like
it's,
it's just U.S., but it's athletes from different places.
Yeah.
You know,
Uzbekistan,
but all the teams,
Kazakhstan.
but
Yeah.
all the team
Legit.
All the
sports
stands.
are in the USA. You get what I'm saying? These sports aren't in different parts of the world. These teams aren't in different parts of the world. They're all in the USA, outside of
Yes.
Toronto,
yeah.
Yes.
right?
Yep.
So, the UFC is very different in that aspect. NFL, all USA teams.
I
You
just
get what I'm
wanted to
saying?
say, as a person who's a layperson outside of the inner circle, I'm going to tell you, you have never seen such professionalism. It's like a 5-star hotel, and everything was completely structured. There were people just making sure everything runs right every corner of the buildings. Like there's nothing left to chance. I mean, every second is structured, and it was amazing.
I was in
the military. From the military, I'm telling you, this is more organized than the military.
Wow. When we went out to Abu Dhabi, that was my first time being a part of a UFC event last year during COVID in 2021, January. We were at the W Hotel. I've never seen such an extravagant hotel. It's a race car track around it in Abu Dhabi. Wow. I can see the Ferrari plant over there. And had it not been COVID, we've been able to venture out. But because it was COVID, we had to stay within the hotel. But the hotel was so large and so many. It's like, all right, I don't really need to leave here anyway. You get what I'm saying? You can see the Etihad Arena who they had just built, which is the arena in Abu Dhabi now that we fight out of, which is becoming huge. So it's just... It is a blessing to be a part of this promotion, but like anything, I feel there's always room for growth. This is my first fight in UFC, but like any company has room for growth, and so I'm very aware of everything that's happening on the landscape, and that's one thing I look forward to as fighters, us being able to grow with our sport, because I don't know if it's going to be a union or not, or whatever. I don't like to ruffle the wrong feathers, but I care about my health, you know, and so that's one thing I've been vocal with Joaquin since we were in St. Louis fight. I was like, man, I want health care. I want my health to be taken care of as a fighter. I care about my brain. I read. I think I want to live a full life. Fighting just one part of that life, you know. So that's one thing I hope that the UFC implements more, because I do feel like we are one of the best, you know, sporting leagues in the USA, and it's a reason why we're growing to be number one, because NFL is obviously still number one, and NBA are like.
That could be debatable, fam. I'm just saying, bro. Like,
I'm just saying
the UFC is global. The UFC is global, man. You know what I mean? I say soccer, if anything. You know what I mean? Like, that's the only thing I feel like is topping us. But UFC, I feel like it's probably one of the biggest sports right now.
Yeah, you know, but when we talk about engrossing money.
Hold on. Don't think they ain't making no money now. Yeah, I'm telling you that right now.
They making money, but we
think they ain't making no money, big
think about this.
Look, what the profit like $1 billion?
We just got,
like, you know what I'm saying? And the year wasn't even up yet.
But think about it.
They profit $1 billion. That's after you pay everybody. You know what I'm saying?
We just got on TV.
You pay the ring girls. You pay the judges. You know, after you pay everybody, you profit $1 billion, man. And now you get to reinvest that back into the company.
But also, you got to think, for one person max deal in the NBA is $250 million. Ain't no fighter ever made that ever in the UFC.
It's the reason why. But like I said, it's room to grow.
Ain't nobody in a career of 20+ fights, no fighters ever made that.
It's okay. It's coming. Our day coming, big fella.
Our day coming. I'm just saying, it's room for growth. It's coming. But like, we just got on TV.
Right.
NFL, NBA been on TV.
What you mean we just got on TV?
Like
you talking about in the span of
ESPN?
Just got a TV deal. Streaming deal.
Yeah, we're just now becoming known. You know, so yeah,
like you said. Jokic just got a $265 million.
You don't see that in MMA.
That's crazy.
The main event fighters, they get paid what, a couple million, then they get the pay-per-view, so they're probably making $6 million.
And that's what we wanted to ask about too. Like, you hear the stories. So
that's life changing for me though. I'm happy as fuck. I get up. My first fight, I'm getting ready to have July 23rd. That's life changing, and that's only, you know what I'm saying.
Hey, we ain't working at Walgreens no more. Thank you, Dana.
I'm happy. I'm happy. Don't get me wrong. I know we talking about money, but I'm looking at it as like it's always room for growth, and this is the best sport. This is the best promotion.
Big facts.
And I'm about the UFC.
Big facts.
And we gonna get there.
And there's no other sport that you can market yourself like you can in the UFC.
Yeah, and
like,
that's
fighters
can say
fight. Big
that's the biggest thing. Freedom of speech. My opponent just posted a picture with an AK-47. If that's Kevin Durant, if that's Kyrie Irving, they like, you know what I'm saying?
Knocking on the door.
He getting a hefty fine from the NBA, right?
Sure.
And so
Dana loves that shit.
Yeah, you love that shit. You know he do.
You know what I'm saying? So one thing about Dana White, he has always promoted fighters having their own personality, freedom of speech. I can't deny that. But at the same time, there has to be a line in the sand with how the world is going
Yes.
and everything that's happening in the world.
Yeah.
It has to be a line in the sand. I feel like they started trying to draw it by not allowing us to bring out flags anymore, but I feel like that was one of the great things about the UFC because I got to see where this guy was from and what country is that? That flag, cool. Let me look that up. Oh, where is that at? Oh man, now I'm interested. Kazakhstan. And the flag dope, and you like, oh, that you learning about different countries. I thought that was a cool aspect about making us a community.
Unfortunately,
When you take away the flags, but when you take away the flags, now it's like, now we seeing like people getting booed, and you know what I'm saying, like, and it's getting sketchy. But I'm hoping that as a fighter community, it's only how many of us in this UFC community now, fighters, it's a brotherhood. We have to remember that too. We're fending for our sport. We're fending for ourselves first and foremost. But we're fending for our sport too. And so we have to be able to, be respectful of that as well.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, like how you said, you can build your own brand, and that starts, with having that platform. And you don't want to, like you said, with how the world's working, you don't want to put a picture of a gun if you have that platform. Everybody can see that we know what's going on, because that sends a bad message. Even though it does get your name out there, gets you a little clout, it sends you a bad message.
It's like Homelander. Yeah, Homelander killed that dude. They started clapping.
Yeah.
But it's a part of the game though. Like we were saying before, like Muhammad Ali used to go crazy with the shit talking. You know what I mean? Talking about people, but because at the same time, like at that point in time when he was doing that and talking to certain fighters like Joe Frazier and Sonny Liston, like he was really hurting their lifestyle because he called Uncle Tom.
Man, he was
kids couldn't go to school.
He was no holds
getting bullied. You know,
the only thing he didn't.
Ali gonna beat your daddy ass. Ali gonna beat your daddy ass.
He wouldn't threaten nobody's life, but he would always be disrespectful.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Big fact. But at the same time, guess what? It promotes the fight.
Yeah,
no matter what level,
and what we
no matter
do,
what you. And Mike Tyson said it best.
Do.
I don't care what a motherfucker say during the fight. I say I eat your kids.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? For a snack. For a snack.
Yeah.
You hear me?
Most disrespectful shit I heard.
All the time. You know what I mean? So, but my biggest thing is though, you can't allow your emotions to be attached. You know. When people talking like that, just realize what it is. It's just air. It's just them breathing, like, you know what I'm saying? That hot breath coming out. You know what I mean? So
nobody's been more disrespectful than me. So
big man, and you always stay calm.
Yeah.
Look, this Dale right here. You said what? It's okay. Come
hey man, you're gonna have to definitely. You gotta give me some lessons on these internet trolls because like what's crazy, I'm getting like people, like, your opponent's gonna slit your throat, all these things. Like, and that's the one thing I had a conversation with Joaquin about a year and a half ago. I was like, bro, I don't know how. And I said this to him walking outside. Bro, I don't know how I'm gonna handle it. I don't know how you handle it because I am a person who I care about people, man. But like, man, I don't know how I'm gonna handle like certain things people say because I that stuff be real to me. You know what I'm saying?
But some dude on the couch who can't
do
do
thing
shit.
too. Yeah. So the fight he's talking about is when I fought Alessio Di Chirico, right? And at first I was getting love, a lot of stuff for the kick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Once I got knocked out there in Abu Dhabi, bro, the hate was so real.
Yeah.
That's when they flooded. I didn't get the flood from the kick, you know what I'm saying? I got the flood when I got knocked out. And then that's when I got so much hate and stuff like that. I literally had to turn off the comments. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, bro, y'all okay?
That's what you gotta do because
after a while, because I'm like, it got too much. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But then after a while, I'm like, bro, I can't, like, these are people that actually, even when they hate me, they still follow me.
Yes.
They still want my career.
They remember about the trolls.
And they say he got a musty beard.
I was like, that gun's not gonna save him from catching the hands of the octagon.
Yeah.
You don't know shit with your dumbass.
Hey, but you know what?
What do you do? What's the secret?
So one of the things is remember that it's just internet trolls, right? And also remember they're a minority. They're a loud minority.
Yeah.
They believe they're a majority though. It's funny. Because they're the ones talking the most, right?
You
think about when you watch
Twitter,
when you look at videos you like on YouTube or whatever, or you look at Instagram, you don't sit there and make a bunch of comments. You're like, that's cool, all like that.
Yeah, fact.
Keep moving. 9 times out of 10, you don't make comments. Other people run their mouth. So I got one video that has 151 million views. One video.
Yeah.
Out of 151 million views, I have 260,000 dislike thumbs that only I can see on the back end, right?
Right.
We have 6.6 million thumbs up compared to 260,000 thumbs down. But the 260,000 is a small group.
And that's the one that we
they on that comment. They on that feed like that, boy.
Hey, they'll call your house. They'll call your business. I get negative comments and contacts and call. They literally contacted my house phone.
Yeah.
I don't even know my house phone number.
Hey, hold on. And I'm gonna ask Dale too. Dale, have you ever ran into a hater yet?
Yeah, I've ran into them in the street.
Right here.
They asked me for autographs and pictures, and they have nothing but love for me.
Right.
Nothing. I can't believe
Get us beat up, dog.
Man, listen. The haters come up with. They're the first one like. Can I
So
get a
when
picture?
Dale came to Las Vegas with me, bro, you know what I'm saying? I knew like the impact that he had would probably be strong, but when I'm telling y'all, when we hit the strip and we was outside, so many kids, so many old folks, like you
Every
there,
language.
you there one.
Hey, Cardi had the
bro.
#1 pick in the
Man,
NBA.
look, I'm trying to tell people,
Hey.
man, hey, man, I got to fight too, man. Hold on, man. But they just love him. So it's crazy how you get all that hate on the phone and you know what I'm saying? People comment.
But when they see you in person, that energy
it's a
different.
We couldn't go
The
10
energy
feet
different,
in
bro.
Vegas.
Energy different.
10 feet in Vegas. We could
go
not
nowhere.
go 10 feet.
Couldn't go nowhere, bro.
Every ethnic group, people who don't speak English.
Yeah, that's
They were
amazing.
like,
man.
picture.
That's
I
amazing.
mean, that we were. I was wearing regular clothes. I was sitting my back to the crowd.
Bruh,
'Cause
still
I was like, you know,
They
I'm
still
trying to
now they
blend.
saw the earpiece.
No. Just for the record, I did not have the earpiece.
Earpiece in the face.
Hey,
No, seriously, we couldn't go nowhere, man.
Nah,
In the
nah.
mall,
Yeah.
we went down the strip. Everywhere we went, they're stopping us. We went out we went out to when I went out to walk them onto the octagon out there. The crowd went crazy.
Yeah, sure did.
Super positive, man. Yes, and then I didn't know he was gonna call me over. He was like, "Dale," I was like,
Yeah, Dale.
"Dale," I was like,
Because we only got a short amount of
"Okay, I'm there." Oh, he's calling me over there.
Big facts, man. I had to, man. That was a big
Man,
moment,
fans,
bro.
listen, man. Whenever they sit, whenever when you encounter trolls, remember, for every troll, there's 100 people that like you, that are positive.
Yeah.
And then remember, trolls are loud, jealous of you or something. Even just about your hat, you have no idea. It's something that's stupid.
Yeah.
These people, I got 1,000 comments about this watch. Doesn't go buy the
Big old
watch. That's all
tablet.
I'm saying. 1,000 comments about bone conduction, which they call 1980s earpiece.
Yeah.
This is from the future. It's bone conduction. It's not even in the ear. It vibrates off the bones of the face.
Part of his face hood.
Right. It's for safety. So you're nothing in your ear. You can hear what's around you.
wow.
So everything we have has a safety reason. Shaking with gloves, doing tactics with people's noses and eyeballs with gloves on. Yeah, you ever touch 100 eyeballs and hands and it's listen, man. Why
No,
do
thank
we
you.
stand like this?
No,
Another reason we
thank
stand like this, I don't want gang signs in my videos, my
Yeah.
pictures with me. All right? I don't want. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I thought it was a mudra. I thought it was a mudra at first. You know, I'm big on those too.
Hey,
you
another
know?
thing, we got gang signs. People were doing gang signs
Yeah,
and pictures.
yeah.
Another thing to do. Have you ever been hugged by 1,000 people in a day? Like little, like armpits? I'm only 5'9". That's a lot of armpits on me. That's a lot of armpits. Look, I went to SneakerCon. SneakerCon is 4 hours of parents and kids up on you straight, not 1 second off in different states.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about, they want to take pictures. I'm not gonna be like, don't put your armpits on me. So when I go like this. I go, please stand like this. They're like, oh, okay, this is cool. It really, hey. And it
makes a
good
difference.
sign.
Yeah.
But now you don't
I
have
know you felt
armpits
that too,
all
so
on
you
you.
gotta go serious.
And now you ain't gotta go
armpits.
home and have a sweaty shoulder. You good,
right,
bro?
right,
right.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
It
Smelling
stink.
like 50
I'm
different people.
saying.
Hey, smelling like 50 different
armpits?
people.
1,000 armpits? Oh
Hey,
my
man.
God. I'm gonna throw up.
We know y'all gotta wrap up, man.
it's
y'all
like
gotta wrap
5,
up
I even
again.
know.
Short.
This is probably the best podcast we had, hands down.
Yeah.
I definitely want to do this again. If you guys want to make the trip, whatever.
You already know.
We definitely gotta come get beat up by you because like.
Hey,
I
next
only
time,
got-
podcast will be at our facility.
Hey, yeah,
Right down
just
the
let
street.
us know. I will come because I haven't been to the facility yet either.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
let us know.
Hey, let's do it. 100%. Let's do it.
All right,
Still,
let's
guys.
go, man.
Appreciate you guys.
On my
Yep.
mama, let's go.
That way you can be like, hey, for real, I tried to shoot it for real.
Yeah,
I'm not,
yeah,
you didn't
yeah.
pay me, I'm not a stunt double. I'm for real, try to shoot it
Yeah.
for real.
They already know because we did. I grappled our boss because he was talking junk. Because I got 3 stripes and a white belt. He was like, "You still a white belt?" I'm like,
Yeah, he's
"Nah,
still
nah,
white belt,
fam."
baby.
But
He's
he
still
didn't
white
do
belt.
nothing. You know what
Oh,
I'm saying?
okay. Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm like, no, these stripes. And
Hey, these
that-
stripes matter. These stripes matter,
my
boy.
stripe, let's go.
Hey, man, we appreciate y'all.
jiu-jitsu
We
schools,
appreciate
I've been going
y'all.
to jiu-jitsu school, super positive.
Yeah.
I was in New Jersey at Renzo Gracie School.
Yeah.
The maestro there, the professor is Gabriel. very professional. The people were very positive. All the students were super happy. We did tactics for like 2 hours. And then what we did, we went out to the crowd, and everybody who stopped me, I told them to go to the Renzo Gracie School. So Renzo Gracie got new students because I'm out there in New Jersey, sending everybody to go to their school.
Right.
So real positive and work together with jiu-jitsu, with all the schools we can. I just went to Lourdes University last week because I was invited by Thompson, Deion Thompson. He put on, he's a heavyweight champion jiu-jitsu practitioner, but his school, he just opened a new school, but he put on the jiu-jitsu tournament, and he invited me down there, and he did like a skit where, he attacked us, we attacked him. And,
I see that actually. Yeah,
super positive. I went down there, man. All the jiu-jitsu students from all the schools were super positive. And so what I can say is we look forward to teaching more classes, survival classes in jiu-jitsu schools. That's our point. It's to share the knowledge so jiu-jitsu students can survive and everybody else can survive better. That's all.
Yeah, I was talking about, now looking back at the shit I was saying, was like, I was educated thinking about hands-on combat because I'm thinking, the jiu-jitsu schools, no, it's not really weapons. You think about like one-on-one individually.
Yeah.
Right.
I didn't even think of like,
real life.
Why would you want to square up on somebody? You letting them know, like, you know what I mean? You got to stay calm and collected.
This John Wick.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
This real.
Right. Knives, guns, laws.
This a pencil on my hand. That's it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Once seen that man kill him up with a pencil. Right. With a goddamn pencil.
I appreciate you guys.
All right, bro.
Man.
We appreciate y'all.
Try to do this again, though, man.
All right, we wrap it up. We good.
Yes, sir.
Give me some ganja. 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 Give me